It's something I've been doing for 32 years, and I've no intention of giving it up anytime soon.
It's not something I do, it's part of who I am.
I'd do it every day if I could.
I wish more people would get into it.
Hi, I'm Andre. I'm a multi-skilled shift operator. I'm also a wargamer.
I'm Basil, and I'm a data and communications expert and a wargamer.
Wargaming is usually a two-player game using small models to represent armies at war.
It is usually played on a tabletop using small miniature terrain.
You can wargame just about any period, from ancient Egyptians through to science fiction, armies from the future.
Your army is allowed to add up to a certain number of points. For example, you might have a spearman worth 5 points and a cavalryman worth 20 points, but the army total can't exceed 800 points.
We take turns rolling dice to see how effectively our armies can manoeuvre and how effective their fighting is.
The winner is usually the person who demoralises the enemy army first, usually by eliminating his units.
It's a game that attracts 2,000 to 3,000 players nationally. The market for it is worth millions, and it even has its own world championships. It seems wargaming is a force to be reckoned with.
I really enjoy it, and therefore I do it. It's something I enjoy. I'm very competitive, and it's much better to wargame than it is to go out and get drunk and beat the snot out of people, I suppose.
You know, I remember when I was young and always used to watch the war movies on TV. I used to watch them a lot. I quite enjoyed them. But once I discovered wargaming, it was just sort of basically taking that, what I saw on when I was young and playing it. You know, you're painting the models and putting them on the table and actually playing.
And a lot of people are into the modelling aspect of it, you know, it's sort of like the train modelling, that sort of thing. So you don't get that in a computer game. You don't get the social aspect where you just get to hang out with mates and catch up with a few friends.
At the end of the day, the biggest expense in wargaming is your time. The time to paint them, the time to play and everything else.
I would play once or twice a week, and each game lasts between 2 and 4 hours.
I might spend a few hours a week just maybe painting a few soldiers, just organising a list, and that's about it. But if I'm playing in a competition or gearing up for one, I could be preparing for weeks in advance.
But mention the word wargaming to your average person and it's unlikely to elicit a pool of knowledge.
Most of them stand with a blank look on their face.
Most people wonder exactly what you mean. A lot of people know wargaming as in like computer gaming and stuff. And a lot of people think means you run around with a gun shooting paintballs at each other.
In this technological age, paintball isn't the rival here. Wargaming's biggest battle yet is against the computer.
In the 80s, when the computers were really sort of just coming in, there was a bit of a drop-off in wargaming because at the time there wasn't great figure manufacturing of the actual models. But lately, in the past 10 years, I think wargaming itself, the actual tabletop wargaming, is going through a renaissance.
It's not like a boom or anything, it just seems to be slowly and surely expanding, so I really don't see it declining anytime soon.
There's something tactile about wargaming that people seem to come to and they enjoy. And there's something solid about painting something of your own and keeping it. Whereas a computer game you buy for $100 and after 6 months it's out of date, wargaming a Imperial Roman army is an Imperial Roman army in 20 years' time.
And when it comes to the fairer sex being involved, wargaming may just be the hobby to meet that special soldier.
There's not many women wargamers. If any women are single and you want to meet a guy who's intelligent, take up wargaming. Virtually every wargamer I've ever met, women end up getting married within a year or two.
But whether you're a woman or a man, it can be hard to think beyond the wargamer stereotype.
As my daughter said, you know, we're a bunch of losers, but until she gets to know us better. But it's that extreme reaction, thinking that we're all war-loving and we support all that type of stuff. And the truth is probably quite removed from that.
We're all nerdy types and don't have real lives other than that. And then we live in a fantasy world, I guess, which isn't true. It's true with some people, but not with most.
Maybe 10 years ago you would have seen a lot of the stereotypical kind of geeky type people. Most of them now are just pretty normal everyday kind of people, and everything from students to multi-millionaires to yeah, just everyday Joe Blogs working down the factory or something like that.
They start thinking you're some sort of neo-Nazi.
Basil is rallying up his Roman soldiers to battle it out against Andre's classic Indians tomorrow. Despite the dice being a major player in the game, good preparation is imperative.
You have to consider all the armies, not just the army you're playing.
I think quite a bit about who I'm playing, partly about what the army they're using, and also if I've played them before, what they are like as players themselves.
I look at the composition of the troops that I must have, the composition of the troops that I want to have, and then I try to balance them all under 800 points.
If he can get his legionaries into my infantry, it's over. On the other hand, my army's bigger. I've got a lot of shooting, so he can't stand around in front of me. And yeah, if I can use the elephants right, he has a problem.
I need to pressure him so he can't use his superior firepower. I'm going to have to attack.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for both of us.
It's not just about the army that you're playing, but it's about the player. It will be a tough game.
Well, hopefully the Indians will win and the Romans will go back to Italy and take up pottery or something much more useful.
That's pretty tense. If my infantry can get in, I should be able to beat those units in front of me, therefore giving me a chance to come back and win and sort them out over here.
If I can withstand that, I think the battle will swing my way because I've got this mass of troops coming in this side. If I can charge into his flank, he has real problems.
Well, I think the game is swinging towards Andre now. I've managed to break through in some places in his line, but I haven't been able to do much to his elephants. They're really causing us a lot of grief.
I'm winning where he should be winning, which is really cool. And over here, where I knew I'd win, it took a wee bit longer than I hoped, but yeah, we're gonna do it. You know, I just couldn't keep saving my units, just by the sheer weight of fire. So, but that's all right. That's the way his army is designed to play, and I have to try to find ways to counter it. I did, to some extent, but not quite enough. I think his army choice is slightly wrong. If he'd been superior here, he would have ripped that through, which is what I was really scared of.
It's part of my life, has been for years.
I try to get a balance in life, but sometimes it's a passionate hobby.
I've had thousands of games and spent thousands and thousands of hours having a good time and meeting some really cool people.